The WZ-132-1 is a Tier 10 Chinese tech tree light tank, and I would say it's pretty common knowledge and agreed upon that this is the most challenging vehicle in Tier 10 to succeed in. The Leopard 1 is basically better in almost every capability compared to this tank, apart from two things. This vehicle has better camouflage and a special mechanic which allows it to get unspotted and see who is detecting you. But using those two things can allow you to have absolutely incredible capabilities and output. In today's video, I'm going to showcase some of the tips and tricks that actually go through my mind in a vehicle like the WZ and how you can use these in your gameplay to get absolutely crazy carries and wins. Now, this is one of the few games I actually ended up tryharding in because during live stream, somebody made the comment that if I were to ace in the next 5 battles, I would get like a $100 donation. And I said, alright, I'm not gonna like skimp out though and go to tier 5 or something. I'm gonna do a tier 10 and I'm gonna ace it. So the first game I pull out is in the WZ-132-1, and this is what happens when you play smart. So let's take a look, already pausing the replay, at what's going on. We can see a T-62A, we can see an FE-4202, and a bat chat. Now I'm in a tank that has 5 degrees of gun depression, no turret armor, and while I do have decent DPM, it's nothing compared to the 4202, the 62A, really any of those tanks. So already, I know for a fact that trying to fight the enemy mediums is a mistake and a waste of my time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flank. And at least if I'm not shooting the enemy tanks, I'm going to be distracting others. And that is what we're going to do here. That's the first mistake so many players encounter when playing the WZ, is they say, oh, it's just not a good light because it can't counter mediums, or it's not as good of a medium. And sure, it might not be able to counter a medium tank, but what it can do is it can absolutely bamboozle heavies, it can use that spotting mechanic to its capabilities, and it can outplay and outposition. There's a lot of people that will say, oh, well, the 121B is the same mechanic, and it does, but again, the 121B does not feature the light tank mobility, and it does not feature the camouflage rating that this vehicle does. Especially light tanks have camo on move. You can see, in fact, that 50B was not able to detect me until I shot there. That's crazy good. So already I've been able to assist 1,000 damage and absolutely demolish the 50B. And we've done 1,000, so basically we've done 2,000 combined, which is kind of crazy. We see the FE-4202 spotted in the open. We're going to aim it on his tracule and get a nice little juicer into his track, spitting him out in the process. And because of the way this vehicle spotting mechanic works, I knew for a fact that the 4202 couldn't see me. Again, if I was in a 121B, that 4202 would have seen me, he would have spotted me, and I probably would have lost health. But in this tank, that's not a worry, and I'm able to get a nice clear out. So we're already up to 1,800 damage. We are now going to try and get the clear on the AMX-50B. We're going to aim it on his tank. There you go. Nice 257 shot. So just like that, we have cleared 2 vehicles on the enemy team, and we're going to work our way on through. We got the boss Shotzione, and I was hoping that we could get the clear on him, but it looks like our 4202 is able to do that. But no problem. We're going to aim it on the side of the 62A and get one nice shot. Unfortunately, our FE-4202 gets cleared by the enemy 62. But look at that. The nice alpha damage on this vehicle paired with accuracy allows us to get a beautiful snapperoni right into his tank. We're now at 2,800 dealt, and it is a 3 versus 4. The problem is, a lot of their tanks are quite healthy. And even though I have 2 full health vehicles, trust me, they're not going to stay full health the entire game. It's pretty impressive how such an easy win becomes a defeat when your team throws. Like, as I said, we have a full health Type 71, well, not anymore, managed to bleed 1,300 health in one poke right there against the E100, even though the YAG is and was known to be in the back. It's just crazy that people can make so many bad plays. Thankfully, this enemy FE2 and 5B is not the best player, and because of that, I'm taking advantage of my spotting mechanic, and I'm trying to bleed him out as much as possible. That was a rather unfortunate shot. Probably hit the little box on the side of his tank that I'm not able to penetrate. But the good news is, again, we're getting good bleeds. We're getting nice shots out. We have already done 4,000 damage now. And again, we're using this nice damage per shot to just bleed out the 2 and 5B. Unfortunately, our full health type has traded his vehicle, and our IS-7 is only 700 health. As I said, it's crazy how you can have 2 full health heavies, and all they need to do is kill an E100 and not get nuked by a YAG, and yet they nuke themselves. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. So the IS-7 gets a shot into the FE2 and 5B, and dies to the YAG. I mean, it's crazy. You know the YAG Panzer's in the back, and yet you allow him to see your tank. Now, at this current time frame, the 2 and 5B doesn't know where I am. He thinks that I'm over here, but he doesn't actually know. And what I'm doing is I'm literally just waiting because I'm keeping him spotted. Little portions of his vehicle are constantly poking. And because of this, I know eventually he's going to slip up. And he does. I make sure to aim in the shot and we get a nice clear right onto the 2 and 5B's hatch. And I can see the YAG hasn't spotted me. Even after I shoot the YAG, I still see that he has not spotted me. So I make sure he doesn't hit me. And unfortunately, our shell does not end up penning his lower plate. Well, we're at 5,000 damage. We're at 3 kills, and we've done a pretty solid job so far in this game. Now, the YAG is obviously really dangerous, and the best thing that I can do in my light is try and catch him off guard. Unfortunately, again, our shot does not go into his tank. Well, that's not a great start, but the good news is that we have spotted the YAG, and he has not spotted us. And from his current positioning and driving, he is making his way to the center of town. And I am flanking behind him. And because of this, we're able to get right behind him. We're going to get one nice shot right there. And we're just going to keep on going, and we're going to see if we can get any more damage. I'm going to try and shoot him right in the track wheel. However, it doesn't actually break his track, which is rather disappointing. But still, quite nice to get out a little juicer of damage. And it stops this YAG from really being able to do anything. So, we're going to jump down here. And at this point, I'm trying to think of really what the best option is. It only takes 2 shells for that YAG to kill me from full health. And that's not what I want. So we get one nice shell into his tank, but the problem is I know for a fact that YAG can see me, and he does. But the good news is that we're smart, and we get a nice shell into his tank. And that shell max rolls his vehicle. And because of that, I know I'm going to out-reload him anyway, so we get another shell into his tank, and the 360 damage per shot finishes him off. We did get a little lucky with the max roll, but to be completely honest, I wasn't worried about losing that game. I would have just outmaneuvered and outpositioned the YAG and ended up clearing him as it is. We are in a light tank after all. As we can see, a tank that is incredibly challenging to drive turns into a very easy victory just when using a bit of skill and smart. We did 8,000 damage combined this game, 4 kills, and aced it easily, bringing home 200,000 credits. And, I mean, we literally did more than our entire team combined. As I pointed out, this is literally one of the hardest tanks to drive in the game. And even though that YAG was a decent player at the end of the day, he made some crucial misplays which allowed us to win. As you saw throughout the entire battle, I was always making sure that I was a healthy distance away from the enemy mediums, giving us the opportunity to use the spotting mechanics, the view range, and as well, great aiming time of only 2 seconds with the alpha of 360 to get bleeds into our opponents. And that's why I really like the WC. And we can see that while I've only played 12 games in the tank, I'm averaging over 4,000 damage in the vehicle. At the end of the day, people will say every single tank that they don't do well in sucks. And I have many friends that do not like the WZ-132-1. And it is a rather hard tank to drive. But does that make it a bad vehicle? No. By any means, this is not a bad tank. In fact, if a skilled player who properly knows how to use this tank is playing in it, I think it is easily one of the strongest tier 10s. I mean, that spotting mechanic, paired with the mobility, paired with the damage per shot, is incredible. And people still don't understand that. But I have said many times why I believe this mechanic to be the most influential in the game. And it definitely allowed us to win the games today. I cannot say if I was in another light tank, I would have been able to take advantage of my opponents as easily as I was able to. So, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Let me know if you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. Bye-bye!